running for our lives was right there, basically. And the wind shifted and a huge gust came, and it was terrifying. We're on the other side of that now. Now, in between the smoke and this hospital is the mental health center, the Olive View Mental Health Center, which they did evacuate. They don't even want cars parked there right now. They have gotten all of the patients out of there. Now, when I went inside earlier, about 15 minutes ago, they did tell me that they have all scheduled surgeries have been canceled, and now they're trying to figure out what to do if the flames get close to the hospital and they have to evacuate patients. Of course, the trauma patients are going to be the most difficult to try to figure out. Now, one guy who did not want to be identified did tell me that they plan, if they do need to evacuate the entire hospital, to bring buses in and have police help direct traffic, because, as you know, traffic is an absolute nightmare out there this morning. It's taken us hour and a half to even crawl a half a mile. I mean, it is just not moving. And that's one thing. When several hours ago, when Chief Michael Moore was speaking to the media, and they were saying just make sure you have a lot of patience during this morning commute. More than 100,000 people are affected by this. That was the numbers hours ago. Now, obviously, those numbers are growing. So it's a pretty scary situation. A lot of people frustrated and trying to get out of town. Have patience, be considerate. Most importantly, at the hospital, there are a lot of people on edge trying to figure out what's going to happen if those flames get close to this medical center. We'll, of course, bring you any updates. Phil Schuman is on his way here to take over in a little while, but right now we'll be staying out here, keeping an eye on things live here in Sylmar. I'm Haley Winslow, throwing it back to you.
All right, Haley, thanks so much for your hard work. And she's there at that hospital, and, you know, that's very disruptive to evacuate an entire hospital. That's very difficult to do. And then she talked about surgeries being canceled. You know, you have elective surgeries. That's one thing. But then when you have major surgeries that are mandatory and are of the essence and need to be done rather quickly, that's a completely different thing.
It just adds more anxiety to you, right? Talking about evacuation, I just want to remind you all the 5 Ps. If you're new here, perhaps you've just moved into the area, remember the 5 Ps of evacuation. That's people first, prescriptions, your papers, your personal needs, and then a few of your personal items. Just remember those 5 things, please, as you prepare to perhaps evacuate if you're not evacuated yet. You really want to avoid being outside today. Kids with asthma, I've got one who's got some asthma issues, so you really want to prepare for the day when you look at the smoke, and it's what you can't see is the most harmful for you, actually. It's that very fine particulate matter that's really going to affect you. So needless to say, very poor air quality.
All right, Maria, thank you. We're actually going to go live now to that news conference at the Hansen Dam, and hopefully we'll get more clarity as to where the fire and the numbers stand at this point. Let's listen in.
Yeah, Roxia, they are just about to get started here. I'm standing off to the side. This is members of the Los Angeles Fire Department. This is a unified command.
Silence your cell phones and keep sidebar conversations to a minimum. Good morning. I'm Captain Brandon Silverman of the Los Angeles Fire Department, Public Information Officer on the Saddleridge Fire. Welcome to our morning update for the Saddleridge Fire. We're going to have 6 speakers this morning, starting off with Councilmember Monica Rodriguez of the 7th District.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So, as of right now, we want to really thank our LA City Fire Unified Command, our police department, for being so effective in helping to evacuate and helping to address these growing fire concerns. You know, last night, Oak Ridge, in the Oak Ridge Mobile Home Park, which is unfortunately no stranger to this type of fire event, is still under mandatory evacuations. As a result, some of our recreation centers that are serving as emergency shelter locations are starting to fill. Sylmar Recreation Center is currently approaching capacity. Some of our other shelter locations, including Granada Hills, Mason Park, are at this time at full capacity. In many of these instances, we know that many families are looking for their shelter opportunities, and with the growing concerns, and I know I'm joined today by Councilmember Lee, who will follow me, as well as I want to thank Supervisor Catherine Bargers, Representative Jared Degonia for being here with us today, because it really does take all of us to assure that we're approaching these evacuations timely and with thoughtfulness. And so as a result, I want to thank our Animal Services for helping to do the early evacuation. Some of the lessons that we learned after the Creek Fire was that we needed to help assure that the equestrian and large animal evacuations were commenced early, and to help assure that they were out of the way of any potential fire danger. As a result, Hanson Dam Equestrian Center still remains open and available for individuals with large animals and equine to evacuate to those areas. We want to let folks know that if they do need assistance with trailers, the City of Los Angeles remains prepared, as well as our volunteer efforts, to help evacuate these animals with trailers. And so if you do need assistance, we want to encourage everyone to contact the East Valley Animal Shelter at 818-756-9323 for assistance. We will be able to help deploy any additional trailers to your area to help assure that we can get your animals out safely and get them over to the equestrian center. As well, for those of you that are affected in the fire area moving north, we've been informed that both Pierce College and Castaic are also available for receiving large animals and equine. And so for those of you in those affected areas, as the fire has traveled north, up the 5 and near the 14, those areas also remain available for large animal and equine evacuations. And again, Councilman Lee will